Good evening, hockey fans. Get ready and buckle in because the battle continues tonight. It's game 2 of this epic showdown between Canada and the United States. The Americans drew first blood, taking game 1 with a 2-1 victory, but there's one thing we know about Canada is they don't back down. Tension is high, the energy is electric, and the next story will be written tonight. Welcome to game 2 of the 2025 Para Series between Canada and the United States. I'm Mitch Kane, joined alongside by Stefan Berube. Stefan, let's jump right into it. Let's get to the head-to-head stats between these two countries.
Well, you mentioned how Team USA drew the first blood, winning 2-1 in what was a defensive showdown. So, both teams 2-1. The Americans outshot the Canadians 23-14, making their 7th consecutive win against Team Canada. Right now, Canada, they've been struggling over the past 30 games. Only one win within the last 31 matches. They're 60-75 all time against the Americans, and they sure want to snap this slump here in Game 2.
Canada looking to rewrite the story, but let's take a look at some of the star players coming into tonight's matchup. Tell me about Tyler McGregor and Declan Farmer.
Well, Tyler McGregor standing one goal away from number 150, playing in game number 179, the captain for Team Canada. What an exciting player he has been. 149 goals, 123 assists for a total of 272 points, along with a big 164 penalty minutes. On the other hand, we have Declan Farmer. What an exciting player, a skillful player. 158 games, 203 goals, 155 assists. And he became the all-time leader in penalty minutes with a penalty in their win Wednesday night.
Both players featured picked up an assist in game 1 of the series. Tyler McGregor picking up point assist number 123, while on the other end, the Tampa, Florida native in Declan Farmer, now 358 points throughout his career. Just a fantastic career as we get a look at both teams just waiting to come on out as Team USA enters the ice and will head to the blue line. Team USA tonight rocking the white jerseys. Team Canada in the red uniforms.
An exciting matchup once again. A nice turnout, a lot of family members. Always love to see it. Team Canada hitting the ice, rocking the beautiful red jerseys after rocking the whites in game 1. Expect the exact same thing. It might not be the same crowd as game 1 where it was packed full of kids at school day, but that's not going to change the way this game's going to go. It's going to be a physical, it's going to be a grind, it's going to get dirty, and it's going to be a good action here in game 2.
Both teams excited to get going. Canada looking to even the series, and the U.S. looking to win the series. No matter what the result is tonight, these two teams will match up tomorrow for a game 3 at 7 o'clock. But wouldn't it make it more fun if the series was even and we had a do-or-die game 3?
There's nothing better than a rubber match, especially between these two powerhouses. Obviously, again, as a reminder, these two teams, every game counts as they prepare for the World Championship in Buffalo at the end of May. These games count. This is highly likely going to be a gold medal game, so we'll see if they perform.
We'll throw it down quickly for the playing of the American and Canadian national anthems. And now looking at the starting lineups for Team USA, in between the pipes tonight, number 29, Griffin Lamar, the 28-year-old from Haverhill, Massachusetts, in 27 career games played, a 24-0-0 record with a 1.006 goals against average and an .872 save percentage. On the back end, it's Noah Grove and Chris Douglas. Up front, it's Brody Roybal, Malik Jones, and Josh Mischevitz for the Canadians. Starting between the pipes, it's Jean-Francois Huneau, a career 5-4 record with a 1.78 goals against average. On the back end, it's Rob Armstrong and Sean Burnett. And up front, it's Tyler McGregor, Liam Hickey, and new into the lineup. Happy birthday, happy 17th birthday to Jonathan Daigle, only playing in his 10th career international game, looking for his first goal. Wouldn't it be special to score on your 17th birthday?
Well, he slotted into the lineup today, but he's not just in the lineup. He's jumping in with the big dogs, with Liam Hickey and no one else but Tyler McGregor. So an exciting opportunity for Daigle to really showcase his youth and his talent and that energy. And I'm sure that's going to really help McGregor and Hickey to feed off of that young energy. And I'm really excited to see how this line does in this game.
McGregor picked up an assist on the Liam Hickey power play goal, the lone Canadian goal in Game 1. Now Daigle inserts into the lineup. And I think everyone's excited to see what he can do from Boucherville, Quebec. In on the draw, it's Josh Mischevitz. And he will go up against none other than Liam Hickey as the puck is on the ice. Game 2 underway from Canada Games Park. It's a tie-up between Mischevitz and Hickey as the Canadians will quickly advance it into American territory. This one will go on into the corner as Grove will be there first. And it gets rung around the far side boards. The Americans look to start the outbreak as this one gets sent down the length of the ice. Will it have enough for icing? Yes, it will. Let's take a look at the head coaches, the men between the benches.
Well, starting off with the visiting United States of America, David Hoff, 9th season as head coach of the United States. Also was the 2022 Paralympic Coach of the Year, math teacher at Bottineau High School, 3-time world championship, along with a gold medal. And on the other hand, you got Russ Harrington, 3rd season with Team Canada. Also the head coach of the York Lions men's hockey team, has been with them for 10 years, 8 of those as the head coach.
Face-off won by the Americans as here goes Roybal. Roybal scored the opening goal of the series, a power play marker in the first period. Burnett holds the line. He gets hammered by Jones right at the blue line. Puck stays in deep as Grove will go back to retrieve, and he swings it to the other side. Douglas on the far side boards. He'll chip it up for Roybal. This one's going to be held to the line by Rob Armstrong, the leading defensive point scorer for Team Canada. As Armstrong struggles to get it in deep, finally comes loose, and he'll fire it around for McGregor. McGregor off the Zamboni door. He gets checked in by Grove as he looks to work it up to the blue line. This one worked out by the Americans. Mischevitz saw a lane for a moment, but it's taken away by Hickey. He'll sling it back in deep, and the Canadians go for a wholesale change. Josh Pauls. He'll work it out for the Americans. Josh Pauls just 5 points shy of 200 in his career, 195 points as a defenseman, as the Americans will go for a change. This one's worked out as bumped off the puck there by Eustace as Farmer now gets hammered in the offensive end. Beasley to the weak side. Beasley tries to take it to the outside. He gets hammered, and that's going to be a penalty, as I believe it's going to be for teeing, and that will be the call as Farmer given an extra shot after the whistle. The Americans get the first power play of the game as we look to the defensive stat leaders between the two sides.
Well, starting off with Team Canada, it's Rob Armstrong playing in game number 120, 21 goals, 47 assists for a total of 68 points. But then you look on the Americans, completely different. You got Josh Pauls, captain of United States of America, 215 games, 66 goals, 129 assists, and like you mentioned, 5 points shy of 200 as he sits at 195.
The Americans went 1 for 3 on the power play on Wednesday, as this puck will be dropped back to Wallace. This one swung down low, looking for the sharp angle shot, couldn't pull the trigger, was Farmer. He'll go back up to the point, the captain Pauls with it. Pauls waits, takes it to the outside. He just leaves it off for Roybal. Roybal looks over his options. He'll slow up at the point, leaves it off for Pauls. Pauls looking for the see-through pass. He's looking to get it through to the bumper as Pauls will come around. Works it up high. Douglas between his legs, tried to get a shot off it. It's blocked in front by Boyle as he lays on his back trying to get in the lane. Farmer looking for a lane to shoot it, but it's gets blocked off. It's sent down the length of the ice by the Canadians with 1:15 to go on the power play.
Love the way how Team Canada collapsed in the center box, making sure nothing is going to get through. And a lot of good block shots to start this penalty kill.
Here come the Americans again. Paul's with it. He'll swing it to the far side for Farmer. Farmer avoids a check over the middle of the ice, and he sees daylight. He gets hammered in the middle of the ice as McGregor stands him up in neutral, and that will be offside.
Wow, talk about a big hit. How about McGregor leading by example, trying to set the tone here and already past halfway through this United States of America power play, and it's been all Canada so far, not giving much for the Americans. We'll see if they can kill off the remaining 54 seconds.
Faceoff is tied up in the neutral zone as it'll be played back to the point. Douglas, he gets across the line. He'll be swept over to Pauls. Pauls walks in, cuts over the middle, leaves it off for Roybal, looking for the backdoor feed. It gets blocked in front. Rebound chance, swallowed up by Huneau as he faces his first shot of the night.
For one thing about pair hockey, it's always tough to mobilize around. You know, you can't really open up, go backwards. But for McGregor, he made it really easy to always face the puck. You know, this America's team is very skilled. They're trying to stick handle, trying to get to his blind spot, but McGregor able to get to face the puck and not allow anything to cut through the middle.
And coming onto the ice, Adam Dixon for the Canadians, playing in game 250 in his career. Adam Dixon just one game shy of the all-time Paralympic record. He has the chance to tie the record tomorrow and break it in the next game he will play after this series.
What an accomplishment for Adam Dixon, a huge part to this offensive core. Another great leader for this team. You know, Team Canada, they've got so many great leaders, and Dixon is just one of the many they have.
The 35-year-old from Midland, Ontario, congratulations on game number 250 in your career. That puck played right in front. Mischevitz whiffed on it. Shot in, deflected just up and over the net as there's a shot from Pauls. This will be sent down the length of the ice, and here comes a chance for Canada. Boyle in on the chase. 7 seconds left on the power play. That will just about do it for the Americans as Boyle gets checked into the boards by Pauls.
Good penalty kill for Team Canada. Really good defensive showdown there. Really good communication and good coordination and making sure they're not having 2 men on one and a good box out, and they get a good kill. We'll see if they can use that as momentum.
USA now 1 for 4 on the power play so far in the series as the puck gets stuck under Jacob's web there as it's finally knocked loose by Wallace. Bouncing puck. Wallace tries to scoop it up as it'll get played down below the goal line as Musselman's there first. Puck comes up to the point. Grove, pass right through to Nichols. Waits, fires a shot, blocked in front. Rebound still in the slot. Finally cleared out by the Canadians. Lavin. He chips it up the boards as the Canadians having trouble clearing the puck. Dodson banging away between the sled of Dunn as Jacobs Webb will chip it out, and the Canadians go on the chase the other way. Kovac.
A whistle there as the net comes off. An intense start to this first 5 minutes of game number 2. And one thing that we noticed from game number 1 is how well this American team can skate. They're very fast. They're very skillful. And that's why one of the reasons why I'm excited for Daigle and LeBlanc to really come into the lineup to see if they can add a little bit more speed to their lineup to see if they can match the United States.
Wallace circling back at the point. He finds Daylight. Wallace walks in looking for the down low feed. That one broke up by Lavin as you look for Eustis. Canadians looking for the outbreak. He's hammered in the neutral zone by Wallace. Canadians across the line. This one's just going to be chipped in deep as a race for the puck ensues. Farmer's there first to it. Boyle applying the pressure as Farmer hit the brakes to try and get away for a moment. As the Americans struggling to get out of their own end, it's finally flung through neutral. Beasley on the chase. Beasley, long shot in, missing wide of the target. McKee, he steps up on the boards, but he gets ran over by Lavin. As working it out now is Dixon. Dixon just sends it over the middle of the ice. A nice move there by Wallace to evade attackers from Canada as Wallace is across the line. Wallace saucers it forward for Farmer. That one just jumps his stick and goes to the far side corner. Farmer lays a big hit on the far side of the ice as he was tracking down the puck. Puck over the middle, intercepted by Malik Jones. Jones drops it off for Roybal. Roybal looks over his options. He'll spin back as Roybal walks, toe drags through, gets it for Farmer. Farmer fires a left-handed shot. Great save by Huneau as he robs the leading scorer for the Americans.
Well, there you see that top line of the Americans just showing off their skills. Roybal making a nice couple move, a toe drag, and then finding his winger Farmer. And what a nice shot by Farmer, but an even better save for Huneau. As right now the shots stand at 4-0 in favor of USA.
Canadians hemmed into their own end right now. Throughout the first 7 minutes of this period, no shots on goal.
I also want to credit Declan Farmer for that one play in the corner. He was not going for the puck. He went straight for the body. He doesn't just score, but he'll lay down the body.
Done with an athletic play to get that puck out is taken away by the Americans and dumped into the Canadian end. They've got a touch up on the delayed offside. That one passed forward through, intercepted by Pauls as he'll sauce it to the far side. No icing the call. It's going to be a race for the puck. Armstrong plays the body as Roybal takes him into the boards. And this one goes behind the net. Burnett in a race for it. Mischevitz there first. Mischevitz up to Cunningham. Cunningham across the ice. Taking him. Now Roybal, a sharp angle shot right at the goal line. Great save by Huneau. Seems they'll get down low and deny Roybal. Jones spins back. Jones over the middle of the ice. Tries to get it into the slot. Taken away by the Canadians, but a collision in the slot gives the Americans the puck back. A backhanded pass is taken away by the Canadians and played out by Kovacevic. Pauls with a burst of speed through neutral. He takes it to the outside. Pauls over the middle, carving through Canadians. But finally he's knocked off the puck as Jacobs Webb will try and knock it off the boards. Tie up in the near side corner. Puck finally comes free. Stepping up is Nichols, a sharp angle shot. Looking to beat Huneau on the short side, but the Canadian netminder stops him again.
That play all started with Josh Pauls carrying the puck into the offensive zone all by himself, 1 against 5 Canadians, and he's able to just get the puck into the corner, let his teammate get a change, and then they get a really good shot, and they get an offensive zone faceoff. Great job by the captain.
Nichols against Hickey on the draw. Hickey comes victorious out of that one. McGregor looking for the home run shot. Fires it way down the ice for Dagg, but it's intercepted by Grove as the Americans take control in neutral. Big hit over the middle. McGregor lays out Nichols in neutral. Dagg throws on the break in the corner as the Canadians look to clear it. Lavin applying the pressure on the far side. McGregor will just chip this high off the glass and get it out of the Canadian end. As Noah Grove will look to take it the other way. He hits on the brakes as he tries to get away from Hickey. He'll drop it off for his defensive partner, Chris Douglas, as the Americans get a clean breakout. Musselman gets spun around in neutral as McGregor fires it to the weak side. Lavin, he takes a bump at neutral and fires it in deep, no icing the call. Chris Douglas from St. Cloud, Florida. He gets it off to Musselman, who gets bumped after the play. And the Canadians finally with the puck in the offensive end. The Americans looking to break it out. Gets tied up right in front of the American bench as McGregor works it to the weak side. Walks in, looking for the backdoor deflection. Dagg was sitting on the back door, but couldn't get it all. As working it out now is Dodson.
I believe that was deflected, and then the puck found Dagg, but it just skipped over a stick. Tough break, and that would have been a beautiful goal for the birthday boy.
Nichols gets bumped by Lavin in the neutral zone as first to it is Tyrone Henry. Henry came in as a game-time decision, but in the lineup tonight. As the puck gets stopped right at the red line, a bouncing puck stepped up on by Douglas as he has trouble controlling and will just play it to the far side corner. Zach Lavin first to the puck from Essex, Ontario, looking to start the breakout. As this one's going to be worked up to Liliev.
Great pass.
Over the weak side, looking for the return feed. Couldn't get it all the way through. As Boyley was looking for his teammate. Going to be a race for the puck. Will this go for icing? Yes, it will. As the Americans frustrated with that call, but with 4:45, the faceoff is coming back to the American end.
Rightfully so to be angry, as you can tell just the speed there, and that's, of course, Declan Farmer. Fans give a nice ovation there, and congratulations once again to Adam Dixon. And McGregor, captain of Team Canada, came into this game saying, I'm going to lay the body, I'm going to set the tone, I'm going to try to give my team energy, and he's done that already with a couple massive hits.
Looking to turn that energy into offensive production. The Canadians still without a shot over 10 minutes into the first period. Face-off won cleanly by the Americans as Wallace will spin it back on the breakout attempt. Eustace gets there first, but he's pinned off into the boards by Dixon. Dixon chopping away to trying to get that puck back for his side, but the Americans just flick this out to the weak side, and it's right onto the stick of Caden Beasley. Beasley scored the game-winning goal in Game 1 as he advances that puck forward to the corner. Eustace gets bumped off by Liliev, but Farmer on it now behind the net. Farmer learning to get creative here, bangs it out in front, trying to get it through over Beasley, but couldn't get it through a sea of red. Farmer back on the puck, works it to Beasley, but that one just jumps between his sled. That'll be worked to the weak side for the Canadians. Dixon chips this up, 2-on-1 chance for the Canadians. Boyle has trouble with it for a moment, and Wallace jumps up, but it's turned over right away. Here comes another chance. Dixon just flicks it forward, but it's intercepted by Wallace again. Here comes the dangerous Jack Wallace with a burst of speed on the offside. He comes across the line, looking to work it through for the slot, but it's blocked away by a Canadian. He'll be scooped up by Jacobs Webb. He'll be sent out, banged off the boards by Jacob LeBlanc, making his first appearance of the Para Series. As, once again, Wallace right through. Roybal a chance. Roybal's shot just misses wide of the target. Mischevitz holds the line. Trying to get away from Kovacevic as they'll be swung back behind the net. Jones, he's there first to it. Look to work it up to the point. Cunningham steps up on it and gets it back to Jones. Jones cuts around LeBlanc. Looks to work it backdoor right through. Hanaud had it for a second, but Roybal was sitting on the doorstep.
Jack Wallace, got to go back to him. What a game he had in Game 1, and already Game number 2 having a hot start. Again, providing both defensively and offensively, shutting down a possible 2-on-1, and then offensively, just how creative he is. It reminds me of a Cale Makar. He's fast, he's skillful, he can defend, and boy, he can shoot and sauce the puck around. What an impressive player and a big part of USA's blue line. As we have a little delay in equipment delay, you know, but he seems to be all right with the equipment, so he'll readjust and we'll get set for the face-off with under 3 to go.
Jack Wallace had that impressive 200-foot play where he had the primary assist on the game-winning goal, playing in his 102nd career international game from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. This will be played behind the net. Jones throws on the brakes. Jones gets taken out for a moment, and he'll be scooped up by Lavin as he clears it up off the boards. Held to the line by Cunningham. Cunningham plays that one right through. It's blockered away for a second by Hanaud. He didn't have complete control as Jacobs Webb will look to break it out. Held at the line. Pauls gets it back for Roybal. Roybal, a nice pass up to the point. Jones cuts in. Moves it to his left hand. Loses control. Cunningham stepping up. Cunningham with the right. Fires it just wide of the target. Jones. Pauls does a good effort to just hold the line and fling it back in deep, but paid the price as he took the body on from Lavin. Roybal leaves it off for Jones. Working it down low for Mischevitz, but that one jumps his stick as Canadians will flop the sides. And Henry will look to start the breakout. Henry, a long lead pass there just outside the reach of Kovacevic, and it will go for an icing call with 1:56 to go in the first.
Team Canada hemmed in their zone once again, and on a play like that where you've got all the time and space to move it in, possibly get a change. He tries to make a breakout pass, but out of the reach, and now an icing. And now with under 2 to go, USA are hoping to continue this momentum and outplay Canada and hopefully get a goal before the period ends.
Nichols in on the draw for the Americans. Shots now 8-0 for Team USA. Face-off is tied up under the linesman's skate. Quick shot on by Dotson, just missing the short side as Kovacevic will pick it up and just swing it back around for the Canadians, work it to the weak side. Lavin tries to chip it up, but he takes the body. His Musselman gets taken into the boards by Henry. Dunn looks to work it free as Dotson gets bumped into the glass. Douglas now with it. Douglas, a sharp angle shot. Huneau didn't have it for a second. He thought he covered it, but it was still sitting right in front of him, but finally does cover it up as he stops the 9th shot of the period.
And after being hemmed in their zone for a long time, Russ Harrington is going to go with his top offensive line. McGregor, obviously his physicality and how he's been able to lay a couple big hits. Hopefully they can win this faceoff, which they don't, but they need a spark here from their captain.
Douglas, he'll just ring it around behind the Canadian net, but it'll be picked up by Armstrong as he cuts it right up the middle.
What a
Armstrong
move.
with a lane. Armstrong works it out. Taken in now by McGregor. He sauces it forward. A nice pass up for Boyle, but just a step offside is Hickey. As the best chance for the Canadians gets halted at the blue line.
What a nice move by Rob Armstrong to make the risky decision to cut to the middle, but just very confident, patient, and able to just clear it out. And a nice puck movement there by Team Canada, but just unfortunate to be offside. It really looked like they were going to get a nice look there.
Shows the veteran leadership of Rob Armstrong, playing his 122nd career international game. He knows the Americans are guarding that wing side on the board, so he just cuts it up the middle, saw a lane, and the 3 Americans did cut to the boards as the Canadians do get their first shot on net. As Griffin Lamar is up to the task and stops it, as cutting right up the middle is Farmer, but he gets taken out by 3 red shirts. As Farmer lays a check, and it will be offside with 37.6 to go.
You could just see just from that little sequence right there how fast this American team is. They win all the single puck battles, and it just forces Team Canada to skate back and chase a little bit. But they've done a good job defensively again. Every shot has been from the outside. USA, they've done really well in moving the puck, but they're trying to create a little separation, but they've been unable to do that. So Canada, really good job managing the powerhouse Americans.
Farmer wins the draw and slingshots it into the offensive end as Lavin gets checked into the boards. This will be rung off the glass as the Canadians have trouble clearing it. Farmer on the doorstep, couldn't bang it home past Huneau. Eustitz behind the play. Hickey looking to get it clear as 13 seconds remains in the first. Farmer gets it down low to Eustitz. Canadians trying to clear. Beasley gets bumped off the puck by Hickey, and Hickey will just quickly need to act. Eustitz on the pressure. Beasley looking to get out front. Beasley gets hammered by Boyle right at the buzzer, as that will do it for the first period of play. Score remains deadlocked at 0. Shots 9-1 in favor of the Americans.
And again, it's been a great period by the Americans, but you got to give credit to Team Canada. There's still a donut on the board for the Americans. They're shutting it down both defensively and, doing a very good job. Had a couple of nice saves, one with the glove, of course, and a couple other pad saves. But overall, Canada's doing really well defensively. They just need to try to be a little bit more aggressive offensively. Try to see if they, there's a couple times where they ice the puck, but try to see if they can have a couple more Hail Marys, see if they can gain an edge a little bit. But right now, score remains 0. It's been a good period for both sides. Canada had a very good and a very strong kill. But right now, no one's winning, so look for a good second period.
There's some of the highlights from the first period. Farmer getting checked right at the blue line. McGregor and Farmer, they've had some words for each other, the 2 leading scorers, longtime rivals, probably some good conversations between the 2 of them.
It kind of reminds me of an Ovechkin/Crosby matchup. These 2, they face each other so many times. They are probably annoyed playing against each other, knowing how 2 talented players going up against each other. It's a fun battle, and we still got lots more actions between them.
Both goalies perfect so far. Griffin Lamar stopping the only shot he faced. But on the other end, Jean-Francois Huneau stopping all 9 shots he faced. Very impressive. A couple big saves on some of the top scorers for the Americans. And it appears early that he's going to have to keep playing at that top level if he wants the Canadians to win this game.
And USA, they're going to look to continue to move the puck around, try to test his mobility, try to see if they can go cross ice to force him to go from one post to another. But right now, he's been doing very well and shutting the door so far.
That will do it for the first 15 minutes of play here from Canada Games Park. Score still deadlock, 0-0. Join us back here after the first intermission. You're watching on Brocktv.
The game of lacrosse was given to the Haudenosaunee people from the creator as a gift. Nice, good catch.
The game of lacrosse is played for healing. It's often called the medicine game.
It's a game that's about respect, and mostly it's the medicine.
The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, it's so important because it signifies a day that allows us to come together and to remember and try and reconcile and remember why we're in the midst of truth and reconciliation.
Giving back to whoever's sick or whoever is needing it. For me personally, it's always playing for the people that played before me, people that are playing now, and the people that are playing after. Gift to us, to gift to the world.
Rugby is definitely a unique sport. There's so many different aspects to it that not only physically but mentally, it definitely takes its toll on you.
You get beat up pretty bad on the field, and it can kind of drag you down once you get back to school and through the week.
Seeing big dudes run around and then talk about their emotions and stuff is something you don't normally see, and it's something that we need to see. We need to see people showing their emotion side, showing that it's okay to not be okay.
I think just leading back to the rugby team, we're such a tight community that if you can have those open talks, then nobody's alone.
Rugby is really important, but there's bigger goals and there's bigger objectives.
We've always wanted to be involved in the community, driving programs like this where we can actually see actionable and measurable impacts.
Just try to do more than just be good athletes on the rugby field. We want to be good people as well.
We're looking to help out in the community and to do something that's just a bit bigger than ourselves.
Every single year, women in sport continue to rise.
It's so cool to see the women's game finally get the attention that they deserve.
We all support each other, and I've never seen that before.
You know, let's keep looking, let's keep getting better, let's keep growing, right? It's getting there, but it's not there.
We need to go and be us and be the best version of us so far this season.
I love the acknowledgement of women in sports.
I think it's only up from here. I think there's no limit on where it can go. There's not a single person in the world that can't see that this is really special, so I think there's no stopping it at all.
This is a historic day in the women's game.
Great morning to talk about women's sport. We just talked about the draft and the PWHL. Now we're going to focus for the next few minutes on women's professional soccer.
I'm very grateful that there is a league starting for women in Canada.
For like 6-year-olds to be like, oh my gosh, I can play professional soccer in Canada.
Rugby has been growing over the years so much.
We have incredible teams and incredible national teams that do amazing things.
Like I said, it's a new league, but the aspirations are huge. Women's pro sport is so new.
Toronto, welcome to the W.
First ever PWHL hockey game in Vancouver, a sold-out crowd welcomed the best in women's hockey.
It's so cool to see the women's game finally get the attention that they deserve.
Well, I think it's the biggest day in the history of women's hockey, I really do.
Never thought I'd see it in my lifetime, and I did, and thank goodness.
We need to go and be us and be the best version of us so far this season.
At no point did I ever think that I would have the option of coaching professional soccer in Canada.
There's so many women in this game that have been phenomenal at blazing a trail for these young girls.
Every single year, women in sport continue to rise. There's no end to it.
I think it's just looking outside the box and bigger picture, not just tunnel vision on, oh, it's pretty good right now. Well, it is, but let's keep looking, let's keep getting better, let's keep growing, right? It's getting there, but it's not there.
I love the acknowledgement of women in sports. I think it's so important just for all the younger athletes to see what they can do. I think we're lucky as women in Canada because we have such a strong national team to look up to.
Rugby has been growing over the years so much, especially for women's rugby. Like, it has grown so much. Like, Canada just won 15s last year.
We've come a long way as a country, but there's no professional women's team in Canada, so I would love to see them develop a pro team here, and I think we're on the right path. It's always growing, and it's awesome.
There's been like a spike. I feel like in Canada, like soccer has become super big for women.
When I was a player, there was no semi-professional, there was no professional league to aspire to in Canada.
I definitely noticed as I was growing up, like there would become more and more leagues available. For example, when I was younger, I would play on my brother's team because there wasn't a team that like I would fit into. But like now, those options are available. There's OPDL, there's League 1, League 2, there's U20, there's so many different opportunities for people to be able to like, especially women, to be able to explore that.
Canada's kicking off their first ever women's professional league, and it's kicking off in 2 months, 3 months. And I think it's incredibly exciting.
When I was growing up, we only knew the famous men's players. So I think it's a beautiful thing to see that these kids are able to look up to some women in their sports.
Fast forward to where we are now, it's incredible how far we've come. Obviously, also saying there's still a long ways to go, but I think it's important to credit the progression that we've made.
Honest to God, so since I was a player, you know, that's like 50 years ago, it's unbelievable.
Within the last kind of like 5 years, the girls like minor programs have really been elevated in a different way.
I didn't really start playing hockey, organized hockey, until I was about 12. My family, they didn't think it was normal for girls to be playing hockey. And there was a team that I signed up with my brother, and they wouldn't allow me to because I was a girl.
Originally, I started playing ringette when I was younger because I didn't want to play with my brother. So now when I do go home and I see that there are girls teams for all the young ones, it's pretty cool.
Girls that are coming up through minor hockey right now are coming up at the perfect time because, you know, as the professional side grows, there's going to be more teams that come around and there's going to be lots of room for them.
Like, the opportunity is immense, and it's just not for players, but it's for officials, it's for medical staff and trainers and stats and analytics and equipment people, and like there's so much, and it's just so cool and so wonderful.
I think it's only up from here. I think there's no limit on where it can go. There's not a single person in the world that can't see that this is really special, so I think there's no stopping it at all.
I would say at times difficult, but very, very rewarding.
It's difficult because of opportunity. It's always people second guessing you. It's always people doubting you.
I think one of the challenges is just always needing to prove ourselves. There's always a push here for the women's team to be able to fight for their spot.
If they don't believe in me, then I don't believe in myself sometimes.
The biggest thing is always seeing the equity piece not being there. And no matter what coaching position I have been in, there's always been that challenge of, hey, this isn't right, and always having to fight.
Played on teams where the women's team in this club is put down, they are put to the side, they aren't cared about. There's times when we on club teams have been given like all of the flat balls in training, and you're given the minimum, but it's just little things that make it harder to succeed.
So it gets really quite fatiguing, where you're constantly trying to battle for something that, in my mind, should just be a norm and should be in place already.
So it's tough. You have to fight battles, and you have to fight for what you believe your team deserves. But I also think it's incredibly rewarding because there are times when you aren't given the same resources as other teams and you succeed more.
I think it's just always those hurdles, and like, I got by, I got by, I got by.
We've created an insane amount of resilience in push, and I think for me that will follow everywhere in my job, in my future as a person.
You're going to learn resilience and grit. All of those things are really important things to learn in life. And what a better way to learn it through sport, and in a sport you love and you're having fun with, and you have an instant group of family that you're leaving family but coming into an instant family here, right? It's amazing.
It's been incredible to see the community at Brock, truly, especially the women's community.
We are very fortunate to have as many women coaches as we do. And like I said, I think it's quite rare. Like our executive director of Brock Sports and Recreation and our associate director of Brock Sports are both women. We have women's basketball, female head coach, women's hockey, female head coach. Rowing, I'm not even gonna say women's rowing. Rowing has a female head coach and a female associate head coach.
I don't think that you get that a lot anywhere else. And we kind of all just rally together and we're here for each other. And
the community that we have, just I think one of the best that I've ever been in terms of direct colleagues. And I think when the players get to see us collaborating with each other too, it just creates an environment where they want to do it as well.
Us being student athletes, we're such a small cohort here at Brock, and it's a unique ability to be a varsity athlete. Specifically women who have gone through what you've gone through, which isn't necessarily these big challenges, but just being a woman in sport is a challenge in itself sometimes.
We've all kind of had like some shared events, like one canon event that's kind of led us to this area, whether that's playing on a boys team when we were younger because we needed to play up but there wasn't that team available.
We can obviously find those connections really quickly and understand what we're going through.
We all support each other, and I've never seen that before. We go to each other's sports because we know how hard it is to play a game and not have people come watch you because you're a women's team.
Like those little efforts make so much impact on such a small community of Brock sports. Like it was amazing.
Supporting each other is the best way to kind of get out there, make some friends, and really just hone in that we are special here on campus. And I think there's so many amazing athletes here that go beyond their careers at Brock and do fantastic things. Everyone's so talented, and I think it's fascinating every single time that I go support another team.
It's honestly been beautiful to see it. It's like a heartwarming moment. We have so many teams come support us. The women's basketball team comes to our games, women's volleyball, rugby. It really creates bonds and supports the teams, understanding that, you know, we're there for you and we know where you're at. I think it helps us to be better players and to just be better people, honestly.
Constant reminder that, you know, you belong here. Constant reminder.
Welcome back to Canada Games Park for Period 2 action between Team Canada and Team USA in Game 2 of the Paris series. After one period of play, we are dead knotted at zeros. However, the Americans lead in the shot department 9-1. I'm Mitch Kane, joined alongside by Stefan Berube. What are we here to expect in the second?
Exact same thing from the first. A lot of hitting. It was a physical start to this one, from both sides, but it really seemed like Team Canada, they've got Declan Farmer's number. They're making sure they're not giving him any open ice, and if they could continue to do so, they might be able to manage to hold on to that donut against the Americans and maybe try to find, you know, a lucky bounce that goes in their way, because one goal could do it for Team Canada. But in order to do that, they're going to need to get a lot more shots. We're up for a good second period.
The referee, Pat Myers, waiting for the clock to get reset. The linesmen for tonight, Rich Lafontaine and Noah Sabarin. In comes Pat Myers to drop the puck for Mischevitz and Hickey. Second period action underway. Hickey wins the opening draw, but stepping up quickly are the Americans. Degg gets bumped into the far side boards as Mischevitz welcomes the newcomer, only in his 10th career international game. Roybal will chip that forward into American territory. Hickey, he'll spin it back, nearly intercepted. A turnover in the slot would have been costly there. Roybal in his own end will just sauce it back up the boards. As Grove comes back into his own end. Long lead feed for Mischev. It's going to be a race for the puck. It will go for icing. As they say, Burnett won the race.
Well, for Canada, you got to see you're very lucky. You get an offensive zone faceoff, but before that, you nearly threw one right to the United States of America, throwing one in the middle. Nearly picked up, but it was just off the stick, and a big break for the Canadians. We'll see if they can take advantage of it.
Malik Jones was licking his chops. Saw that one on a silver platter, but couldn't reach the stick out to get it in time. And a break caught for the Canadians. Douglas throws this up the boards for Mischevitz. Mischevitz hustling into the offensive zone. Henry cuts him off and will send the puck up the boards. Hickey, a lead feed for Lavin. He'll get to center and fire it in deep as Paul's cut him off quickly. Lamar will just cover that quickly as McGregor was hounding down on him. The Canadians get another offensive zone draw.
Well, Canada, they've got to jump in their steps so far. They're really applying good pressure, and they're forcing Lamar to hold on to that puck. And I'm liking the way Team Canada's starting. They're good body position, protecting the puck away from the Americans. They get the puck nice and out very cleanly. They get the puck down the offensive zone, start skating hard while the dump and chase, and that leads to an offensive zone faceoff. But again, similar to game number one, as we've got a little delay with the ice, but Team Canada, they're looking to at least win a faceoff because they've been heavily dominated in that category.
Josh Pauls and Griffin Lamar both having discussions with the official as they check to ensure the net's still in place. I believe that's what we're looking at here. Might be saying there's too much water, and that is the case. We had this in the women's game earlier as well. There was a bit of a delay in the third period as the Zamboni just left a bit too much water. They've been trying to take more procedures to try and refurbish the ice because these picks have just been ripping up the ice all week long, but by having these few extra laps, it's been causing a little bit of extra water, especially in the crease right on that middle turning point for the Zamboni. So the officials will just try and clear the front of the net out and get rid of some of that water. So both teams will have a little bit more time to strategize, especially the Canadians with the upcoming offensive zone faceoff, as they'll roll the top line right back out as McGregor and Hickey come rolling out alongside Tyrone Henry, Zach Lavin, and their new line mate, Jonathan Degg.
We're seeing a little bit of a difference. You got McGregor at the top of the point. An interesting mix, but you know, you want your best scorer, you're one of your top offensive player, enough room to, you know, provide some offense, get a shot off, and no better guy than McGregor.
Looking for the big 6-foot body of Tyrone Henry to maybe provide a screen for McGregor, but the puck is won by the Americans. Turn over to McGregor. Right in the slot, he fires the shot wide. A prime chance for the Canadians to get started in the second period, but McGregor just fired it wide. Henry, he'll step up in the neutral zone. He'll fire it back in deep for the Canadians as they go on the chase. Pauls is going to be there first. He'll ring it right back around to the weak side. Stepping up will be Hickey against Beasley. Hickey wins that battle as he's still on the puck but gets knocked to the ice. As it gets knocked in between the sled of Eustace, he chips it off the glass and out. Farmer in on the attack. Lavin has to act quickly as Farmer's bearing down on him. Works back over the middle of the ice, gets deflected for a second by Hickey, but it will go down the length of the ice. No icing the call. The official was about to blow it down, but Cunningham touches up right before the goal line. Eustace. He'll look to work it out, but has it stripped away by Hickey. Hickey firing the long shot in, missing wide of the target. Beasley gets bumped into the boards by the other number 7 as Henry tries to get away that one quickly, but here comes Farmer the other way. Declan Farmer, the burst speed, cuts over the middle, lost control it for a second, trying to get away from McGregor. Farmer, once again, another hard stop, but loses control as Dagg will knock it out to neutral, and the Canadians will try and go for a quick change.
Again, Tyler McGregor being very aggressive on Farmer. Didn't lay a big hit, but was able to follow him.
McKee, a nice pass up for Wallace. Wallace, short side, tried to pick the top corner.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Here's a chance for the Canadians the other way. Matthew Liliev in all alone. Breakaway chance. Shot, scores! Matthew Liliev makes it 1-0 Team Canada.
I mentioned this. Team Canada was shutting United States down and needed one lucky break. Well, that's your break right there. A rim around miss shot by Wallace leads to the puck, rimming all the way down, and Leliev coming off a change, picks up the puck, has just enough time to settle the puck down, and he roofs it top shelf. And Team Canada with the icebreaker and lead 1-0. What a big goal and a big lead for Team Canada.
Matthew Leliev, the 19-year-old from Levis, Quebec, just his 4th career international goal, and it couldn't have come at a bigger time, taking advantage of the opportunity. This one will be swung now behind the net for the Americans as they look to break it out. This one will be chipped up the boards, and it will go out to neutral. Here's a chance for the Americans. That one just outside the reach of Dodson, as quick on it was LeBlanc. Boyle, he'll take it in his own end. Leliev tries to chip that one out, as it will go back in the Canadian end. Boyle looking to take advantage. Boyle loses control of that one. It's worked up top by the Americans, trying to fire a long seeing eye shot through, but gets blocked away by the Canadians in the slot. Dodson pinned up against the boards. Armstrong applying the pin. The Americans get free for a moment. Trying to scoot away is Grove. Grove up to the point, leaves it off. Long, low-lining shot, bouncing right through the blue paint, but goes past the target. As Huneau had to be sharp there. That one just does not clear the line. They're saying it stayed in. Boyle.
You got to get that out.
Bouncing puck in the slot. Boyle looking to get away from danger. Boyle.
He's trying to do too much there. You know, you've been out for a long time, and you just got to get the puck out, just throw it into the boards. But Boyle just did it a little bit too much, but he was able to just get it out, and now Canada looks to regroup.
USA tags up on the delayed offside. They'll go for a change as it's worked to the weak side for Dixon. That one jumps over his stick as turning back is Josh Pauls. Josh Pauls with a burst of speed to the outside, cuts over the middle, and he will be offside. It's tagged up by Malik Jones. Pauls cut right back at the quite possibly worst time as Canadians stand him up at the blue line.
Well, if we go back to that Team Canada goal, we talked about how Jack Wallace, he's so good and he's got such a nice shot. But that's the one disadvantage when you have a shot like that, is the amount of power he's able to put into it. Was able to rim around all the way out to the center ice line where Leliev was right there to pick it up. And I'm sure Jack Wallace, you know, upset about that. Great shot, but, you know, that's why it's important to hit the net.
You're saying he has too nice of a shot, even.
Yes, he does, unfortunately.
Roybal swings it through to the slot. It's going to be taken away by Henry as he'll just clear it out of the zone, and it will be a delayed offside. Do have to agree there. That shot might have to hit the target if it's going to be that hard, because right when the Canadians were changing, it just worked out perfectly, sent him in on that breakaway chance all alone. Shots tell a different story than the scoreboard. Shots 10-2 in this game in favor of the Americans. However, the score 1-0. Sometimes you get the bounces, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, and that's the case. You know, Canada, they're kind of team that relies on those bounces, you know, facing a powerhouse team like the United States of America. You know, it's tough. You're hemmed in your own zone most of the game, and you just look for a bounce. And, hey, you know, you look back on Miracle on Ice. You know, United States, they beat the Soviet Unions on a couple of nice bounces. You know, that's kind of what similar story. And here we go. We might have another one.
Another chance for the Canadians. Cutting the outside is James Dunn. He drops it off for Jacobs Webb across the line as Roybal misses the big hit. He takes himself out into the boards. Here comes a chance for Malik Jones the other way. Jones working on Lavin. Jones in. Trying to pull the trigger, couldn't get a shot off as Lavin takes him into the boards. Right into the slot for Mischevitz. Rebound chance, but covered up by Huneau as he denies Josh Mischevitz.
Malik Jones wanted to get the puck on his right side, but didn't really have the best position to get a shot, so he turns back and finds Mischevitz, but just couldn't corral the puck properly, but then able to just get a quick jab at it, but it right off the pad of Huneau, and he holds on for a much-needed whistle.
Offensive zone draw for the Americans, but the linesman will step in and break it up momentarily. It's Farmer against Hickey. Face-off one back by Hickey as McGregor will take behind his own net. Oh, quick move out, but it's intercepted. Farmer a chance. Farmer, the left-handed shot blocked in the slot. Rebound chance, bouncing puck. Farmer scores! Declan Farmer jumps on the rebound, and he ties the game at 1.
Who else but Declan Farmer, and another mistake by Team Canada, throwing it to the middle, intercepted by the Americans. And then when you do a turnover like that, when Declan Farmer's on the ice, bad things will happen, and that's the case for Team Canada. They turn it over center ice in their own zone, and Declan Farmer buries it for goal number 204 and point number 359.
1 point away from point 360 is stepping up in the rushes. McGregor, as he's battling with the other number 8, Jack Wallace, as McGregor gets taken out by Eustitz. Hickey will take it away in neutral from the ever so dangerous Farmer, as a whiff on that pass as it goes back to Degg. Degg chips it up for McGregor, but that one just outside of his reach, as it will go for a Canadian icing.
David Eustace got the assist on that goal from our PA announcer. That's his 17th assist with United States points number 36, and playing in game number 62. So Eustace using the opportunity of playing with a high caliber player, Farmer.
I'll never take a point away from a guy, but on the replay, it looks like Beasley fired that shot. The initial shot, which would lead to him getting the assist, but we'll give it to Eustace if that's what the referee saw. As Farmer working on behind the play, right at the slot. Beasley a chance, lost control of it as Dagg will work it out. Hickey, he looked to chip it forward as he gets taken out in the boards by Eustace, as the puck will come back and fired in deep for the Canadians. Lavin stepping up in the rush. Lavin lays the check against Grove in the corner. Puck comes out for Hickey. He gets bodied off the puck by Farmer. As Eustace looking to get to center, he'll just play it forward between the legs. As the Canadians control it back, working forward, Dixon just onside as he comes straight off the bench and is able to deflect it into the far side corner. Dixon, almost toe-picked, was able to get it out into the slot as he'll be held at the line. This one clears out the other way. Working on it now is Beasley. Here comes a 3-on-2 chance for the Americans. Beasley drops it off. Farmer over the middle. Farmer waited too long as he got caught up in the back check by Zach Lavin. Farmer with a burst of speed behind the net. Cuts out sharp. He scores! Declan Farmer, an unbelievable goal as he gives the Americans the 2-1 lead.
Wow. Declan Farmer. What a play. What a goal. What a shot. He just wraps around the net, turns and shoots it, and he goes far side and just snipes it past, and just like that, just minutes after tying the game, Team USA have their first lead of the night.
Declan Farmer, what can't you say about this guy? A burst of speed behind the net and almost just tossed it to himself like an alley-oop. Wow, mid-spin, it'll just hit a fadeaway shot, top shelf. Unbelievable.
An absolute warrior for Team USA, and it's just, you cannot let him touch the puck because his creativity, he sees the ice so very well, and just there he saw the opportunity to wrap around. He knew that Team Canada wouldn't contest him once he got around the net, and so he used that to his advantage and just roofed it far side. And he's got Team USA on his back right now. It's 2-1.
David Eustace also picks up the assist on that goal as he's now up to 18 total career assists. As Cunningham will hit the brakes, and this one's chopped out to neutral as Pauls will be first to it. Shots 15-2 in favor of the Americans. As Musselman will take, he has to get rid of that quickly as Armstrong was bearing down on him. Believ, the Canadian goal scorer, cuts off Dodson as the Canadians play this to the weak side of the ice. Pauls gets the red line and will fire it back into Canadian territory. Americans have to tag up. They're still offside.
Use that to your advantage. Lots of space now.
Canada will break it out. Armstrong sees some space, but Canadians collide on the far side of the ice. It was Liliev and Boyle.
Boyle lost his stick, so he couldn't really move and get out of the way. So a tough collision there for Canada.
The two Quebec natives on Team Canada. Liliev runs into the American penalty box. This one's advanced forward. Gonna be a race for the puck. No icing the call as Wallace will take it in the corner. Boyle lost control of his edge.
Come on now, Wallace.
As that one will be played up the boards. Dotson takes Lavin into the far side boards. As
Jack Wallace, again, just great patience. He just gets the puck in the corner knowing the Canadian is on his tail, but he just waits.
Musselman in the slot, fires a shot, but great save by Huneau. As the Americans were bearing down on him quickly as the Canadians, another turnover in the own end.
Yeah, had to be ready on that one, able to get the pad, tracks the rebound, and just covers it without giving USA any time to get in any other second opportunities there. But Canada, they got to watch out on those defensive turnovers. That is costing them right now, and the reason why they are trailing in this one.
Mischevitz will win the draw as he gets it over to Roybal. Roybal, a tight spin at the blue line as he fires it back in deep, looking for McKee as Lavin gets taken out into the boards by Malik Jones. This one will be moved all the way down to Canadian territory. No American territory. Is no icing the call. Wallace right through the blue paint. A dangerous play.
He's lost both sticks now. Canada has to take advantage.
It'll be interesting to see how he gets back here. He's got to use his hands to propel himself as his goaltender trying to help him out. Mischevitz throws him his other stick. As it will be sharp angle shot as Kovacevic launched it against Lamar, but Lamar stopping only the third shot he's faced tonight.
Lamar, as you can see there, he doesn't have a pad. His other partner, Jen Lee, he has a pad, and then both goalies for Canada, they have a pad. So obviously a little bit different for him, but a nice glove save there. Obviously kind of a tough shot, on the glove side, but he also was able to help out Jack Wallace in throwing the stick towards his direction. As you want one of your best defensemen to be able to move around like he does.
Lots of different goaltending strategies. We see the Canadians, they have the same strategy, and the Americans sort of the same. We see Lamar in that same formation as Genley, but Genley has that pad on top, whereas the two Canadians have that pad flush with the ice going sideways as the Americans are offside, won't touch up there. As Dag looks to work it out, but he gets taken down as Henry's got to act quickly with Malik Jones bearing down on that loose puck. As we worked over the middle of the ice, it's off the sled of Dag, and it'll be moved forward. Mischevitz advances it into Canadian territory as the Americans offside again. Malik Jones doesn't realize as the Americans touch up on the delayed offside. Faceoff will come to the neutral zone with 4:24 to go in the second.
Well, Canada, it's been a much, they got a goal, but it's been not the best period for them. I feel like first period they were much better defensively, a lot more responsible, but this period, a couple of lazy mistakes. They got to really tighten up and make sure their passes are much more crisp to their teammates, and needs to be a little bit more coordination like there was in the first period.
Shots 7-2 in favor of the Americans here in the second period as Farmer won the draw and sent it in deep. McGregor looking to clear the puck, but he gets hammered into the boards by Eustace. As a stick goes flying over the middle as a long shot in from Douglas from the point misses wide of the target. Here comes Farmer. Farmer looking for the hat trick, moves it down low. Chance right in tight, but Huneau with the quick cover and forces a face-off to his left.
That's the beauty about Declan Farmer. He's so good that you need to really be on his tail to make sure you don't give him much space, but then that opens up the ice just a little bit for him to find one of his teammates, and right there was just an example from it, but a good stop from Huneau.
The two top lines facing off. Face-off won by the Americans. Long shot in, patted away by Huneau. Big rebound is out for the Americans. Farmer hits the brakes. Farmer moves it down low. Sharp angle shot off the side of the net by Eustace. Eustace tried to center it out front as Farmer gets the loose puck first. Farmer trying to cut it back. He'll look over his options, and he can't drop it back as it goes out to the neutral zone. He'll have to scoop it up there. Farmer cutting back in with a burst of speed. Gets taken out by McGregor. As him and McGregor have words once again. Hickey. He'll step up in the rush as he plays it in deep. As the Canadians will go for a change. This one all the way around for Henry. Henry steps up. Low lining shot, a one-time chance for McGregor. Just fired it up and over the net. Dixon, bouncing puck. Boyle can't get there first as Farmer sees a lane and he'll take it to the outside. Farmer avoids a massive hit as McGregor was lining him up. As Pauls gets bumped in neutral. Here comes Farmer again. Farmer inside out. Great move. Leads it off. Eustace, left-hand shot blocked in front by Henry. Eustace behind the net once again. It gets worked up to the point. Cunningham goes between his legs. Looking to set it up. Gets it over to Beasley. Beasley fires a shot. Gets deflected off of the glove of Boyle, but Huneau able to take care of it and cover it up as that was the 20th shot of the game for the Americans.
Again, it's just Declan Farmer, the way he can move the puck. Skates to the middle, goes cross-ice to Eustace. Tries to go cross-ice, but good stick there. And then they go to the point, a shot deflected, but able to track it down and make the stop as try to take a look at the Canadian bench to see how McGregor was doing. As he was really trying to lay a big hit on Farmer.
That shot in is turned away by Huneau as Evan Nichols won the draw. He was the youngest player on the 2022 Paralympic team for the United States. As Paul swings it right across for Nichols. Nichols trying to get it free. He'll leave it up to the point as it gets knocked in between the sled of Dotson, who tries to knock it free, and it will go behind the goal line. Race for the puck. Nichols there first. Leaves it off for Dotson. Dotson behind the net. He'll spin back towards the corner. 2 minutes remain here in the second period. Musselman behind the net. He'll spin back as Armstrong will look to start the breakout for the Canadians. This one's chipped off the boards, and here comes a chance for the Canadians. Give me a race for the puck, but just too fast is Josh Pauls. He's been such an impact player for the Americans in this series. This one gets moved forward. No icing the call as Armstrong will be there first. Armstrong has to act quickly as Dotson takes him into the Zamboni doors. Tie up on the near side near the American bench. As the puck's still not knocked free, it is, and it's blocked by Armstrong. Here comes a chance for Boyle the other way. Boyle's got a hustle. Look at the get back by Wallace as Wallace takes Boyle into the boards. He'll swing the puck out front. Lavin walks in, fires a shot, it gets deflected with a high stick in the slot, right out in front. Jacobs Webb trying to tuck it home, but a great save by Lamar as he's able to cover it up as we enter the final minute of the second period.
And that's exactly what Canada needs to keep doing, just throw the puck on net. It's been tough for them to really get some high-quality chances, so all really you can afford is just throw it on net, hope for the best, hope for a possible rebound. Right there in this scenario, they got a tip off the boards, and then just a close, tough angle second chance. But that's how really Canada's going to rely on tying the game. But you got to go back to Wallace's speed. My goodness. Is he fast?
He dug in and hauled himself back as this one's worked up to the point. Lavin pump fakes, waits for the shot as it's taken by Jacobs Webb, who spins and fires, but it's blocked off by a sea of American bodies. Roybal will move it forward for Wallace. Here comes Wallace with a burst of speed. Could be a 2-on-0 for the Americans. Wallace hits the break. Spinning shot as he was able to get it through, looking for the deflection from Jones on the back door, but Huneau, quick with the glove, is able to stop that latest chance.
Yeah, Wallace throws it on net. Would have been a good possible rebound opportunity for Malik Jones, but he was already skating past the net. But a good job by Canada, really just being aggressive on Jack Wallace. They know he's a fast skater, so they just got to make sure you don't give him much room and you take the good potty position, which Canada did there.
Face-off is won from the Gatineau, Quebec native, Anton Jacobs-Webb, as this one will be cleared up to the point, intercepted by the Americans. Jacobs-Webb knocks his man off the puck, and here comes a chance for Dunn. He swings it to the far side. Walking in, Kovacevic, he slows up, looking for the shot, through, it's knocked away by a glove. Rebound is there as Henry takes a big hit. Right over the middle of the ice, Jacobs-Webb trying to shuffle it forward as Dunn goes in on the chase. 7 seconds left in the period. Dunn gets pinned up against the boards, and the Americans just trying to milk every last second of the clock, and they do so successfully at the end of 30 minutes of play. The Americans take a 2-1 lead while leading in the shot category 21-6.
overall, that was a very good ending for Team Canada. The last 2 minutes, it really seemed like they started dominating to play, and they're going to really need to carry that momentum into the third. It was a really hot start for Team Canada, getting that first goal by Lilière, but then, you know, they started to play a little bit back and then had a couple costly turnovers that led to Team USA scoring 2, making the score 2-1. But overall, you know, it's been a solid game for both sides. USA continues to play the way they play their style of hockey. They're in control, obviously using their skills and speed to their advantage, getting the better body position compared to Canada. But then again, Canada, the much better team to end the period, and it'll be important for them to really carry that momentum onto the third, as same scenario as game 1, trailing by 1, entering the third.
Another key for the Americans after they went down 1-0, Declan Farmer woke up. Declan Farmer became an instant impact player.
Cannot let that happen.
In the second period. He became the best player on the ice, as he may very well be, as scored 2 quick goals and gave the Americans a quick lead after the Canadians took the early 1-0 lead in the period. But that will do it for 30 minutes of play. You won't want to miss an entertaining final 15 minutes in a 1-goal game between Canada and the United States here in Game 2 of the Pair Series. You're watching on Brocktv.
Every single year, women in sport continue to rise.
It's so cool to see the women's game finally get the attention that they deserve.
We all support each other, and I've never seen that before.
You know, let's keep looking, let's keep getting better, let's keep growing, right? It's getting there, but it's not there.
We need to go and be us and be the best version of us so far this season.
I love the acknowledgement of women in sport.
I think it's only up from here. I think there's no limit on where it can go. There's not a single person in the world that can't see that this is really special, so I think there's no stopping it at all.
Essentially our creation story for us, between creator and his brother. But then the first game that wasn't played by them was between animals, and it gave all the animals like different like abilities of what they have. Like you look at a deer, they're fast. You look at a bear, they're big and strong. Turtle, they can like handle anything really.
The wooden stick was used to represent like our connection to the earth and animals and life.
It's just a big difference in how the game has grown. Switching from wooden sticks to like what we use is plastic and metal shafts, helmets, gloves. Before it was just a wooden stick, and that was it, a wooden stick and a ball.
So much history has been lost in terms of just the way that, unfortunately, history has treated Indigenous individuals, especially in the Niagara region. It's important as we look to move forward together that we honor a sport that is continuing to grow. It's important to draw more light and awareness, bring more wants and desire to play the sport.
I think a lot of people's goals now is to grow the game and then share that game that they were gifted.
To us, it's a gift, and we just want to gift that to whoever. Like, going to high schools is, for us, a gift to them because, like I said, gift to us, to gift to the world.
Where's your dad? Where is he lurking?
Personally, I've always been super connected to lacrosse. I've played many sports growing up, but I always just loved playing lacrosse. I've always felt that it's just something that I want to do forever.
Playing lacrosse allows me to play not only for myself, but for my community back home and for my ancestors.
It's a big thing, like it's always around us. And you drive on the reserve, you can drive by anybody's house or whatever. Half the time they'll probably have a lacrosse net. So we're basically surrounded by it.
Lacrosse at Brock has helped me to have a second family. Like it's helped me at times to not be homesick because I live 3.5 hours away from here. And so there's not always time to be able to go home to my community and be able to see my family. And during the season, I find that lacrosse really gives me the strength to continue through school. Whereas other times without lacrosse, it's been a challenge.
For the Brock community, it's mostly just trying to show like, you know, we're still here, we can play this game too. Especially as a First Nations member, you don't really see many here. And me personally, I just want to think like, if a couple of us are here, soon it could be a lot of us here and we could all be playing.
The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation is a day to honor and respect the children and the survivors of those who didn't come home from the Indian residential school system in Canada.
It's really important because it acknowledges kind of that dark past that Canada does have and doesn't always necessarily like to talk about. It's important especially because it's a lot more recent than I think people realize.
They should also recognize that all Indigenous people have been affected by residential schools.
Where I lived most of my life on the reserve, you could drive to Brantford and there's a residential school still standing up. Just you can walk in. Grandmother on my mom's side, she lived along the river on the far side of the reserve. Sometimes some kids are running along it, just trying to get away from that.
Like my grandparents attended residential school, and there are a lot of survivors across Canada. And we should recognize their strength and the resilience they had, that they're still here, but also recognizing the people and the children that did not come home to their community.
And not only the children that didn't get to come home, but the generational trauma, I guess you could say, that it's now experienced. So like, I don't know the language of my people. Like my great grandma and like family before them didn't want to talk about it and like didn't really like talking about it because they wanted to hide that part of their identity so that they didn't have to kind of experience that part of it. So I think it's really important to talk about like how much culture and like identity was lost.
So I think it's really important for not only our Indigenous communities and people in the Niagara region and at Brock, but I think it's important for everyone to recognize the history behind how we got to be here as a country and the steps that we still need to take moving forward.
The orange jerseys is an idea we had when everyone started to talk about Orange Shirt Day and started to wear orange shirts on September 30th for Truth and Reconciliation. But I said they should get orange jerseys and they should play a game on that day. And then I remember last year he told me like, hey, we're getting orange shirts, we're getting orange jerseys. We're playing a game on that day.
Playing lacrosse on the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation is important as an Indigenous person to me, just because I spoke about it being the medicine game. It's very healing for a lot of us who play.
I think it's really important to acknowledge because it does bring medicine to the people. So not that people have healed or have moved on from this, but to acknowledge a beautiful thing that people were given on a harsh day is a good way to educate people about it in a way that is enjoyable and makes people want to care.
What makes me proud is that I can play the sport I love and I'm growing up with, and also like really have my heritage out there. And it just really shows like who we are, who we can be.
I think it's important because it allows not only us but everyone in the community to remember and to consider again why we're here, and this recognition is required for reconciliation.
For me personally, it's always playing for the people that played before me, people that are playing now, and the people that are playing after. The kids that played then, now, and after I'm gone. The kids that went to these schools and never came back.
Please welcome back to the ice, Team USA.
Welcome back to Canada Games Park for third period action between Team Canada and Team USA, as we got treated to both women's teams singing Pink Pony Club by Chapel Roan going into the period. A very popular song at the time, is getting the mood up here for third period action. A one-goal game between the Americans and the Canadians. What's better than that heading to third period?
I mean, the fans, they were just vibing, and that's what Rose Misevich, the head coach of the women's team, was saying. When they sing and they vibe, they play well, and they're trying to give that energy to the men's side as they were having a lot of fun. It's been a fun game for both sides, and it's going to be a fun third period of action.
And the women, they played very well earlier today. They took home a 5-0 victory over the Canadians earlier today. They'll play game 3 of their series tomorrow back here at 12 p.m. But for right now, we have 15 minutes left in game 2 of the men's side of the Paris series. The USA leads the series 1-0 as of right now, looking to officially win the series. However, the two sides will once again meet again tomorrow at 7 p.m. right here from Canada Games Park in beautiful Thorold, Ontario on the campus of Brock University. Thank you all so much for joining us here on Brocktv as Team Canada comes back onto the ice, led by goaltender Jean-Francois Huneau. He's had a very solid game so far tonight, stopping 19 of 21 shots. The only 2 that have gotten by him are from the American active leading scorer, Declan Farmer.
And don't forget, in game 1, when it was Corbin Watson in net, he only faced 23 shots, and he stopped 21. And right now, like you mentioned, the shots are 21-6 in favor of USA. So, you know, he's been more busy than Corbin Watson, but he's held his ground. He's given his team a chance to compete, to allow them to give them a chance to win the game. And, you know, it's same thing as game number 1. They were down 1-0, you know, not getting many good looks offensively, but then they got a power play in that third period, and then bang, they scored. And you never know, they could get another lucky bounce, but in order to do that, they've got to continue to be aggressive, especially in the offensive zone. The last final 2 minutes were the best 2 minutes of the game for Team Canada, and they really need to feed off of that and maybe try to draw a penalty, but more importantly, get some shots on net.
Third period action for Canada Games Park is officially underway. Face-off between Mischevitz and Jacobs Webb will be won by Josh Mischevitz as the Americans slap away at it and send it deep into Canadian territory. Armstrong going to be first there to it. Armstrong takes it to the corner. He'll send it right up the middle of the ice for Jacobs Webb, and he'll spin back, but it's nearly turned over as scooping it up and carving through is Sean Burnett. This one shipped off the boards as going back on it as Dunn as he tries to whack it to the weak side to Kovacevic, but couldn't get it all the way through. Jacobs Webb gets bumped into the boards right at the red line. He'll fire it in deep as the Americans go back on the chase. Chris Douglas takes behind his own net as this one's moved right through neutral and be taken in by the Canadians as Lavin will chip it off the boards, but it's intercepted by Roble. A great move by Roble, sharp on his edges. Roble across the line, lead pass, but bumped off the puck was Jones as a great back check there by Tyrone Henry. Puck gets tied up on the near side. Douglas holds the line. He'll just scoop it right back down as it deflects off the stick of Henry, and Lavin will take right through the blue paint but move it up the boards. James Dunn, the Wallacestown, Ontario native, will scoop it through neutral, but it's intercepted by Beasley as he'll fire it right back down into Canadian territory. Zach Lavin. Lavin had 4 penalty minutes in game 1 of the series. A great move by Dunn to get to the outside. Dunn a chance, in all alone, but gets cut off by 2 Americans. Has a great back check there by Beasley and Pauls. Pressure up on the far side as that one's scooped out by Farmer and sent down the length of the ice. No icing the call as Liam Hickey will be back first to it. But a penalty upcoming as a tie-up behind the play. And it's going to be a roughing call against the Canadians, and the Americans will get their first power play of the game. That's going to be Zach Lavin sent to the box, 2 minutes for roughing.
Not the penalty you want to take for Team Canada. Obviously, you're trailing by 1, and Team USA got a power play in that first period, but didn't get many looks. It was at the start of the game, first 5. Team Canada had a really good penalty kill, shutting it down in the slot area, but it's just still a very talented offensive team. You don't want to give them any looks.
Team USA right now 1 for 4 in the series. As this one will be passed right over the middle. Roybal a chance. Roybal, he'll just circle on back right at the blue line and fire it to the far side corner for Wallace. Wallace coming over to the top of the circle. Waits, tries to fire that shot through, blocked off by Henry, but recovered quickly by Farmer. Farmer moves it to the weak side, couldn't find the cutting pawls. Wallace gets bumped into the boards by Henry, but USA retains possession. Roybal fires it down low behind the net. Wallace tries to move it forward as a bouncing puck is scooped up by Farmer and launched to the far side of the ice for Roybal. Roybal will circle back and leave it off for Farmer. Farmer cuts in with a burst speed, leaves it off Pauls, fires a shot through, it gets blocked off by a Canadian sled in front. I believe it was off McGregor and goes out to neutral. Farmer, a nice cut up the middle as he gets away from McGregor, but gets hammered by Hickey in the neutral zone as he lost his stick momentarily. Henry slaps this one around the boards. Wallace corrals it. Fires a shot through, right in the blue paint. Shot on, great save by Huneau as he denies Mischevitz right from the slot.
USA finally finds an opportunity in the slot area as Mischevitz able to corral the pass and then just shoot it, but right off the chest of Huneau. Good job by Canada. Again, the way they collapse in that slot area just forces USA to move the puck around the ice. I was keeping an eye out on Farmer, and he was just skating around, didn't really get many good looks, even tried dangling through, but Canada shut it down.
Low lining shot in as that one just misses the target. Farmer won the draw, the former best male athlete of the Sochi 2014 Paralympics. Working in, Wallace, a shot got tipped in front by Mischevitz. A nice play by the Americans, but a better save by Huneau to deny Mischevitz on the doorstep.
Wallace able to recognize Mischevitz in front of the net. He's got the right body position for a tip, so he goes for that little shot pass where he doesn't raise the puck at all, and Mischevitz able to get the right angle to tip it, but, right there, and a big save, and the biggest on this penalty kill.
Farmer on the draw against Dixon. As the faceoff will be won, but slapped down the length of the ice by the Canadians with 17 seconds remaining on the penalty to Lavin. Lavin now with 6 penalty minutes so far in this series against the Americans. As here comes Farmer with the burst speed. Farmer right up the middle, looking for the hat trick. Farmer, he scores! Declan Farmer, the hat trick goal, makes it 3-1 for the Americans.
Declan Farmer, what a player he is. He's 3 Canadian bodies. He threads the needle and cuts through all 3 of them. And just such great move, stick handling, and not much room available, but he finds it. He makes his own room, and he dangles through Huneau. And right now, USA has their biggest lead of this series, up by 2, and a big power play goal.
Declan Farmer, a natural hat trick, scored the last 3 goals as he continues to impress. Dixon to the outside, tries to fire a shot through, can't get it all the way as the puck's still loose in the slot. Americans can't clear. Burnett fires the shot in, just missing wide of the target. This one will be cleared out to neutral as Armstrong has trouble containing it as here comes Nichols across the line. 2-on-1 for the Americans. Nichols fires a shot, swallowed up by Huneau.
Rob Armstrong, and we got a couple shoving here and there. Rob Armstrong, he wasn't in the greatest position in the offensive blue line. You kind of had to play it back. The puck was offside. Not much option, and the Team USA just takes it from him. And then Burnett, he was about to get off the ice for a change, but turns back and sees there's 3 American players skating down the ice. He had to come back, but again, big save there.
Nichols back in on the draw after that last American chance. And the faceoff will be won by the Canadians. Lavin rings it around for Dunn. Gonna be a race for the puck as this one will squeak out to the neutral zone. Douglas chips it off the boards and it goes back behind the net. Lavin. A stick gets lost. It's played right out into the slot. Wiring a quick shot was Musselman, but missing wide of the target. Lavin looking to clear the zone as I believe it hits the glass up into the netting, so no delay of game called with 10:06 to go.
Now for USA coming into this game, they didn't have any scratches or lineup changes, but they did move a couple of bodies around. One of them was Musselman, who played a defenseman in game 1, but in game number 2, playing as a right wing, and he had an opportunity there, but he just missed wide.
Musselman, the Amelia, Ohio native, very versatile player, stepping up as a forward. Wallace drops that one off. Left it off for Farmer, who cuts back over the middle. Farmer back to Wallace. Wallace walks. Left-handed shot. Stopped by Huneau. Rebound chance swallowed up by Jean-Francois Huneau.
Well, Huneau has been a very busy man, and Farmer and Wallace, they're just showing off the chemistry they have as you take a look back on that 3-on-1 look, shot right at the chest. Good job by Burnett in that good body position. And then Wallace, just the way he shoots, you really have to come out and contest, and he does that, and he corrals that rebound as well. So good job on
Wallace circling back. Across the middle of the ice, Wallace fires a high shot just over the target. Going to be a race for the puck now. Eustace stepping up. He gets hammered on the far side of the ice. Quick shot, glove down. Huneau flashes the leather on Farmer.
That's stop number 25 of the night for Huneau, and just Jack Wallace again. The shot that he has, it's really tough for the goalies to come out and play, but he's able to flash the leather again. As he's had a couple of beautiful saves, and he's really the reason why this game is only 3-1.
Farmer and Dixon in on the draw. A whistle will go. Dixon and Farmer having trouble getting this puck on the ice. Dixon wins the draw cleanly as he's playing in his career 250th international game, as this one will be taken by Zach Lavin. He's told to wheel as he'll flip it down the length of the ice. Liliev on the chase. He's got to beat the speedy Pauls, and he can't get there in time. This one will go for icing.
And that's the beauty about USA speed, with how fast they are, they force their opponent to just ice the puck, but with their wheels, they're never going to lose those kind of racing. You saw an example from Paul. It's just how quick they can be, and just like that, the puck's back in the offensive zone for USA.
Josh Paul's the active games played leader for the Americans, playing in game number 216 today. As this one will be cut up the middle. The Canadians having trouble clearing the line. Dixon from his stomach was able to clear that one out, trying to send in Henry all alone, but that one just outside of his reach. As a nice move once again by Farmer to cut through. Farmer will have to regroup in his own end, as that one got deflected off the stick of Dixon, and he'll work it to the weak side. That one taken in by Malik Jones. Malik Jones with the burst speed, throws on the brakes, cuts back. Jones to Farmer in the slot. Farmer can't pull the trigger as he gets bumped off the puck by Lavin. As will be cleared out as Malik Jones lays a big hit on Adam Dixon. As walking in is Farmer once again, and a nice shoulder save by Huneau. As Lavin has trouble clearing the puck. Roybal takes in neutral. He'll drop it back as it's nearly taken away by the Canadians. Americans offside momentarily as Farmer lays a hit in the Canadian end. Henry tries to clear that puck out, but knocks it off the sled of Farmer. But the Canadians able to clear it out of their zone once again. 8 to play here in the third. The Americans still lead by 2. Looking for more. Working to the far side. Mischevitz slows up, looking for a shot with the left hand. He'll drop it off. No one in a white shirt on the receiving end. It's turned over to Liliev. Americans back on the rush. Taken away by Lavin as he'll chip it off the outside boards as the Canadians having trouble clearing here. That's stuck in between the feet of Jacobs Webb, and he'll just flip it to the weak side, trying to get through for Dunn, but stepping up on the play is Douglas. Douglas goes between his legs and will just knock it to the far side corner as Kovacevic will leave it off for Dotson. This one will be sent all the way to the weak side. Dunn will have to come back to that puck as he chips it off the boards, looking for Kovacevic, but it's taken away by Musselman. Musselman chips it high off the glass and down the length of the ice, where this will go for no icing as it slows up right at the goal line. Armstrong leaves it off for Henry. Henry, a long-range saucer pass for Dunn. A nice little behind-the-back pass, but it's intercepted by Wallace. Wallace sees daylight. Jack Wallace to the outside, to the middle. Fires a shot. He scores. What a shot from Jack Wallace. His 63rd goal of his career. Makes it 4-1 for the Americans.
Jack Wallace just proving my point how he just plays like a Cale Makar, what a shot. You know, a little miscue by the Canadians as they had a couple too many bodies too deep in the neutral zone, and that led to Wallace, to really use the jets that he has. And again, the shot finally able to beat. You know, he's had a lot of good looks and a lot of good chances, and he finally buries one to give the Americans a 4-1 lead.
Jack Wallace, the biggest player on the American roster, standing at 6'4", 210, as Nichols will pick up the assist on the goal that makes it 4-1. Musselman gets hammered into the boards by Armstrong. As here come the Canadians the other way, working it out is LeBlanc. LeBlanc has it stripped away by Wallace. As Wallace looking for more, will chip it off the boards and chase, but Hickey slows him up in the neutral zone. As stepping up is Nichols. Nichols to the outside, works it over the middle. No one on the receiving end. Dagg intercepts as he's got to get away from Wallace, who chops at it and was able to get that on target, but a quick response by Huneau is able to cover it up, as that was shot 30 on the night for the Americans. Canadians still in single digits.
Now, one thing about Team USA is they're obviously a powerhouse. They usually are the team that gets ahead up front and they never look back. But in today's game, they were trailing. And so they had to play a different way, but the way they responded after giving up that goal is really impressive. And it just shows how resilient this team is and how much talented they are from top to bottom. As Stephen Hoff mentioned, how this team has 18 out of 17, they have 18 Ross players on the team right now. They only can have 17 for the World Championship, and to have to cut a player so talented is just something nobody gets to have privilege for, and it just shows how deep this USA team is, even outside of Jack Wallace and Declan Farmer.
As you mentioned, they're trying to play everyone. They have everyone in the lineup. They're playing 10 forwards, I should say, and 6 defense in this game, as they have to make some tough decisions.
It's not going to be easy.
Shots
from here, it's just I don't even know who you cut. They're all talented.
Shots now in the third period, 10-0 in favor of the Americans. Canada just can't get anything going right now as the Americans once again on the attack. This one swung down to Beasley. Sharp angle shot blocked away. Rebound chance. Beasley couldn't tuck it home. Farmer, he takes a big hit as Dixon was able to move it forward for a second. Canadians trying to move it forward as we get some contact going back and forth. Another big hit laid by Lavin in neutral as tempers starting to get a little bit feisty here as Farmer, a sharp angle shot. That one was stopped by Huneau. This one played high off the glass and out of the zone. Roybal's got to act quickly as Boyle was bearing down on him. Puck comes away to Boyle as he has possession, but no momentum as the Americans take it away quickly. That one swung weak side. A nice little touch pass through the neutral zone, but it's taken away by Boyle momentarily as the Canadians are able to slap it into offensive territory. Roybal, he'll be there first. And he tried to drop it off for Grove, as it will be played to the far side. Dunn was working to move it out front. LeBlanc holds the line. Works it down to Dunn. Dunn goes between his legs but can't move it towards the front of the net. As working out was Douglas, but he took a bump in his own end, and the Canadians will fire it back in deep. Lamar will slow it up for Douglas with under 4 minutes to play here in the third period. Douglas sends it right up the middle of the ice, and this one will go all the way down for an icing call as Jacob LeBlanc gets there first.
It's been a tough period for Team Canada, no doubt about it, and they've had so much trouble just getting the puck out of the red line as we have a timeout on Team Canada. And I like this from Russ Harrington. You know, like I mentioned, they haven't seen much offensive zone time, and now they'll have themselves an offensive zone faceoff. So obviously what he's going to want to do is give his team a rest and probably get his top guys out so they can get something going and try to get at least one goal before this game ends. You really want to continue fighting and make sure you don't start quitting. 4-1 is a tough deficit to have at this point of the game. But Russ Harrington calling this timeout, good on him to try to keep his team in the right mindset. You really want to end this game off on a positive note to carry into tomorrow night's game.
Griffin Lamar relatively untested so far to this point in the game, besides the lone goal against. Only facing 6 shots at this point, no shots yet here in the third period, only 1 in the first. The Canadians looking to get, as you mentioned, some form of momentum going into tomorrow. Is a 3-goal deficit. It's a bit of a mountain to climb here for today, as if it stands, the final score as it is right now, Griffin Lamar would move to 25-0 in his international career, as the Canadians have pulled the goalie. They're looking to mount the comeback. Chance right in front, turned away, as the Canadians, their best chance of the period. This one will be rung around. 6-on-5 for the Canadians. 3:32 to go. This one worked to McGregor. McGregor fires a shot missing wide of the target. Lavin tries to step up, but it's taken away by McKee. McKee will move it forward. Wallace trying to chip it through, as it will come right back to Wallace. Wallace taps it forward to Dotson, and Travis Dotson slides it into the empty net, as Dotson claims his 23rd goal of his career.
Not bad from Team Canada. I really like the way they were applying pressure. Had a couple nice look from McGregor and from the point. But USA again, their speed, they're able to get to the puck first, get it out cleanly, and then Jack Wallace feeds it to Dotson, who finishes and gives Team USA a 5-1 lead.
Canadians certainly their best chances of the period, but that quick turnover right at the blue line just couldn't get it going forward. And the Americans so quick in transition, just take advantage and pot it in the empty net as McGregor comes in with a burst of speed. He lays a check against Beasley as the Canadians looking to up the pressure. Beasley, he'll work it out as that quickly gets out. And here comes Eustace. Backdoor feed for Beasley, a chance, just missing wide. This one gets tied up in the near side corner, as both sides looking to fight it out. Puck is finally sent down as Liam Cunningham lays a big check against Zach Lavin. Eustace, he'll drop it off for Pauls. Pauls chips it off the boards, and here comes Caden Beasley. Beasley to the outside, moves it over the middle. Cunningham just onside. Cunningham, a nice move, leaves it off. Farmer walks, shot off the crossbar. Declan Farmer looking for number 4.
That looked like he might have hit the back bar too.
This one played behind the net, as it will be taken in by the Canadians. It gets pinned up on the boards and stripped away by the Americans. 2 minutes to play in regulation. Farmer to Eustace. Down low to Beasley, but that one jumps his stick. Beasley looking for help as his team's going for a change. As this one comes flipping out. Roybal stepping up. The Canadians send this to the far side, as it'll be Tyler McGregor who scoops it up. Tyler McGregor, the 31-year-old from Forest, Ontario. 1 goal away from 150 in his career. This one will be fired in on target. Huneau shuffles it away to the corner. Jacobs Webb works over to Dunn, but that one on the back shoulder. He couldn't recover and get back to that puck. Canadians still clear it out, as Dunn will be in a race for it with Mischevitz. Dunn takes Mischevitz into the boards. Americans just onside, but it'll be taken away by Govacevic. Wallace gets the center and will fire it in, just missing wide of Huneau in the net. Final minute of play here in the third period. Jones takes it down low to the corner. He gets bumped into the wall by Henry. Jones looking for an outlet as it gets played behind the net for Mischevitz. Mischevitz plays off the back of the net as Jones lays a big hit, as some pushing and shoving between Jones and Lavin ensues. McKee can't hold the line. Here comes Kovacevic on the rush, but McKee is able to take him out of the play and allow for Wallace to get there first. Jacobs Webb just onside with the Americans with a quick clear to free space. 20 seconds to play in the third. Armstrong right back up the middle, intercepted by the Americans and played in deep. Here comes Dotson stepping up. Dotson gets in all alone. Backdoor feed. That one jumps over the stick of Jones. A near chance for the Americans to add the cherry on top as some pushing and shoving ensues after the buzzer. But that will do it. The Americans take Game 2 of the 2025 Para Series by a final score of 5-1 and have officially won the Para Series. The two teams will wrap it up tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
And a big dominant win for Team USA. Really started running away with this one in the third. They came into the third period. They just wanted to really end it in that third, and they did so. It was just an explosive third period, coming away with 3 goals in that period, and really an impressive period. They just took it to another level from their skill, the speed. It's all started with a power play goal from Declan Farmer, which almost seemed like a kill for Canada, but ever since that goal, Team USA, they just got so much more confident in themselves, and they just really showed out. And Huno did so well. 31 saves out of 36 shots, but the offense was just too much for him and this Team Canada.
The Americans outscored the Canadians 3-0 in that third period. Final shots in the third period, 15-1 in favor of the Americans. As you mentioned, they just stepped it up to the next level in that third period. As we look at some of the highlights, some big hits. Farmer getting into the physical game, not only on the score sheet, but Farmer also found the back of the net 3 times. But I'll now look to you for tonight's 3 stars of the game.
Well, a lot of offense from Team USA, but the 3 stars that I had to go through, starting with my number 3 star, is Evan Nichols. A great game for him, as he had 2 assists for the Haymarket native. Really solid game, obviously playing with some high-level players. For my second star, I gave him a star last game. He gets another one again. Number 8, Jack Wallace. Just what an incredible player he is for him and the team. A goal and assist in tonight's win, but that could have been a completely different scenario. He could have had multiple points. One of his shots led to Team Canada's goal. He's got so much power on the shot, great creativity, good confidence, and he's a fast skater. He could have had a hat trick.
Could have gave him a second assist for that one.
Could have
assisting on the Canadian
Yeah,
goal.
you could say that. But again, like, he could have had a hat trick. But my number 1 star is the player who did get the hat trick. America's best, Declan Farmer. What an absolute incredible performance. You know, didn't get much luck in that first period. But then when Team Canada scored, he was like, all right, my turn, and he showed out. A natural hat trick, like you mentioned, 3 straight goals, a hat trick. He now adds his total to 206 goals and 361 points. What a player he is, and he gets my first star.
3 great selections, as always. Evan Nichols, 2 assists in that third period. The second star, though, Jack Wallace, I want to highlight. He picked up points 149 and 150 in his career. So congratulations to Jack Wallace.
Only 102 games.
Playing in his 102nd game as a defenseman. 150 points. A massive shout out to the Franklin Lakes, New Jersey native. And then the number 1 star, Declan Farmer. I mean, what haven't we said about this guy? Picks up the natural hat trick today.
It's like throwing McKinnon and McCarr on the same team. It's not fair.
It's unfair at points. The Tampa, Florida native, he is on fire now. 206 goals in 159 games. Just unfathomable from the American star. But that will do it for all tonight. As coming up tomorrow, see these two teams back in action at 7 o'clock. The women's team also facing off against the Americans here at 12 p.m. So make sure you tune into both of those games on Brocktv's YouTube channel. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Brocktv. Another great day of para hockey streaming here from Canada Games Park in Thorold, Ontario. For Mitch Kane, for Stefan Berube, for Brocktv, thank you all for tuning in. And we'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching on Brocktv.